Namaskar. Today we will discuss about map pointing, and as a part of the series called Never Before Map Pointing Was So Easy. So first, North America. North America is the third largest continent, comprising 24,47,40,000. That means 244,74,000 square kilometers. It is bordered on the north by Arctic Ocean, on the east by the North Atlantic Ocean, on the southeast by the Caribbean Sea, and on the south and west by the North Pacific Ocean. Okay, but as I said, I am here to discuss about the map pointing. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin map pointing North America. So first let us learn that is some basic information about North America. Basic information about North America. So by area, it is the third largest continent. By population, it is the fourth largest continent. And the largest country in North America is Canada, whereas smallest country is Saint Kitts and Nevis. Highest point is Mount McKinley. Lowest point is Death Valley, and longest river is River Mississippi. This is basic information about North America. Yes, I am still going to talk about map pointing, but these are basics. Okay, right. Now here you could see what is the map. Okay, this is North America's map. Now you might be thinking, sir, what about the tail part? That is, we have to say in geographically isthmus part. This is the tail part or the isthmus part. Here I have not shown. So now let us see, this particular part is North America's three biggest countries are located. Now here you can see this part is Canada. Totally this is Canada. Whereas this part is USA. Okay, this part is USA. Whereas what about these? This is also USA's part. This is what we say Alaska. This is Alaska region, which is also one of the 50 states of United States of America. So this bigger part, okay, that is world's second largest country is this Canada. Whereas USA, this is the mainland, and this is Alaska. It is the largest state of USA. And now the third biggest region here in North America is this part, which is called as Mexico. Okay, this is Mexico part. Mexico part. This is Mexico. So here what we have seen is this part is Canada, whereas USA, and this part is Mexico. And this region, which we said Alaska, also forms an integral part of USA. Now question is, what is this? Yes, this is a very interesting part. Even though geographically a part of North America, but politically it is part of Europe, that is Denmark. This is Greenland. Yes, you have guessed correctly. This is Greenland. So a brief introduction we have given about North America, but this is not over. So I am taking you step by step. Now this is what I said, the isthmus part of North America, or what we generally can call it as the tail part or the tail portion. Okay, right. Now let us see what are this particular part. So here you could see this is Guatemala. You see, map pointing is not about seeing and copying, but you might be thinking, sir, then you are doing the same thing. No. I am taking you, still lot of things are to be taught. This is just initial, this is just an introduction, a brief introduction to know just what is North America. Then I will teach you the other methods, how to remember the countries, what are the ways, and how map pointing can be really called as something which is not just seeing and copying, it is something which we have to learn. Okay. Now it is Guatemala and it is Belize. This part is Belize. Okay. This portion is Honduras. This portion or this country is El Salvador. This is Nicaragua. Okay. Next we have this part Costa Rica. Then we have Panama. This is Panama. So finally Panama ends up by getting connected to Colombia, country of South America. So this is what we say the isthmus part. Okay, isthmus part or the tail part of North America. Now this is the third section. Now you see we are learning this North America, 3 separate sections. If we learn like this, then map pointing will be interesting. So I have not shown you the complete North America map, which is generally done, and that is complicated. This is a real map pointing. So first I have taught you exactly North American part, Canada, USA, Mexico. Then I have shown you the isthmus part or the tail part. And now what is this third section? This is what we say the Caribbean countries, including Cuba. Okay. Now this biggest island in this region, this is Caribbean Sea, and the biggest one is Cuba. Okay. Next here we can see the Haiti, Haiti, and here we have the Dominican Republic, and we also have this portion which is called as Jamaica. Okay. Next we have the Puerto Rico. This is Puerto Rico. And then we have the remaining islands of Caribbean islands. For cricket purpose, they are referred as the West Indies. These islands together referred as, of course, it includes Jamaica. I will certainly discuss about this. So this is Caribbean islands or West Indies part. Okay. Now let's go for the details. Now these are the countries in North America. So we have Canada, USA, Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Honduras, Jamaica, Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines. So these are, and Trinidad and Tobago. These are the important countries which are located in North America, or which form the part of North America. Now, so many questions which will crop in your mind, all the questions which are rising in your mind, the doubts which are rising in your mind, all will be answered. You please watch this video till the last, and almost all your queries, all your questions will end. Now next, terminology. Now if you are taking the help of an atlas, and I would suggest you that you please hold your atlas, open the North America map, and just simultaneously follow this video, and wherever doubt you can have a look at this map. So now if you are looking at the atlas, then so many questions will crop in the minds of particularly the non-arts students. Sir, the bay. So what is exactly bay? So water partly enclosed. So here when I say water, a water body partly enclosed by land, that is bay. When we say Gulf, hardly you can understand the difference between bay and Gulf, because both look more or less the same. Then the difference is Gulf is larger. It is more enclosed, surrounded by the countries, more deeply indented, bent than bay, that is Gulf. So bay is partly enclosed, whereas Gulf is bit larger. Now what is bight? Bight is more wider than bay. Bay, here the mouth opens bit wider, whereas in case of bight the mouth is more wider than the bay. Compared to bight, the mouth of the bay or the opening of the bay is bit smaller. Okay, right. Now what is a cape? Cape is a pointed land that protrudes into the sea or any water body. So we have Kanyakumari, Cape Comorin we say. So that is a pointed land mass entering into the sea. That is called as cape. Okay. Sea. What is the definition of sea? A body of water, generally a salt water, certainly a body of salt water connected to an ocean is sea. Now what is an ocean? A body of salt water that surrounds a continent is an ocean. Okay, so bay, water partly enclosed by land. Gulf, larger, more enclosed, more deeply indented than bay. Bight, more wider than bay. Cape, a pointed land that protrudes into sea. Sea, a body of salt water connected to an ocean. Ocean, body of water that surrounds a continent. Okay, long back people for a long time used to say that ocean divides the continents, but whereas former president, late president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam ji, once said that oceans don't divide, they connect the continents. Interesting thought. Now next important terminology. Now we have strait. Now what is exactly a strait? Now strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two bigger or larger water bodies. Two larger water bodies, if are connected by a narrow passage, then it is called as strait. Exactly if it is replaced by, water is replaced by the land mass, means a narrow strip of land connecting two big land masses, then it is isthmus, as we just discussed just now. Next is a sound. What is a sound? Okay, it may be, but don't think about physics. I'm still talking about map pointing, geography. And when you find in the map somewhere written as sound, what does it mean? The sound is bit wider than the strait. Yes, you are hearing correctly. So sound, what I say sound, this is wider than strait. Okay, that is sound. Trench. Trenches are the deeper points in the ocean. These deeper points in the ocean are generally called as the trenches. Okay. Peninsula. If a land like India, if you take the map of India, three sides it is surrounded by water, say Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. So three-sided surrounded by water, such landmass is called as peninsula, or it is called a peninsula. Okay. Island, if a landmass is completely, means all the sides surrounded by water, it is island, and a group of islands is referred as an archipelago. A channel, a channel also does the work like a strait which connects two bigger water bodies, but a channel is a continuous flow continues. A strait, it is just connecting, but I have not said it is not necessary that whether it is flowing or not flowing, but a channel is the water is in flow, then it is exactly channel does the work. It is also almost close to strait, but the difference is channel is certainly the water is moving or flowing. Okay, don't get confused whether I am teaching you physical geography. No, this is still connected to map pointing, and these are basics, and unless a person learns about these basics, it is highly difficult that you cannot taste the real flavor of map pointing. You cannot taste the real flavor of map pointing, because these words do appear on the atlas. When you come across this kind of terms, now lot of questions come in. It is not seeing and copying. If I will simply name the countries, and if you don't understand the very meaning of this and the difference between a sound and a clear sound, the strait, the channel, then it is almost incomplete knowledge. Okay, now comes the interesting word is basin, basin, basin. But you see, when you see the word basin in atlas, what is this basin? Okay, it is not river basin, that is different again. But here what you will find in the atlas, the word basin, it is a large sediment filled depression. Okay, a large sediment filled depression. What is a depression? A depression is, if this is the landmass, this is landmass, this can be called as a linear depression, a depression, clear, like a ditch. Okay, and if that is filled with, okay, a large sediment filled, sediments, the particles present inside the river or the ocean, these sediments, okay, the finer particles, if they are filled, so a large sediment filled depression often in what shape? They can be circular, they may be elliptical. So maybe circular in shape basin, which is a sediment filled depression, a very large one, and usually they are circular or sometimes they are elliptical. That is basin. Okay, so now I have solved your initial questions, queries. Clear? Right, now let us move. What next? Now question comes, sir, what is, how one person can learn about the map pointing, what you need to do, what you are supposed to do, you see. Let us take the Queen's rule. What is this Queen's rule? In North America, once upon a time, some countries which were ruled by England, these countries still consider, maybe nominals, namesake, but the Queen of England as the head of their country. So it may be Antigua and Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Canada. These are the countries where you find. Okay. Now beside these, other countries also we have given: Grenada, Jamaica, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and Grenadines. These countries all are members of Commonwealth of Nations. So here what you find is, maybe there may be a prime minister or sometimes a governor general. Okay, and the total country considers till date the Queen of England as the head of their country. Okay, so here usually you will find the Governor General and Prime Minister, or sometimes only Governor General. That is what the way to understand. Okay, this is the reason. So Queen's rule. Now what actually the purpose of teaching this Queen's rule? So in this way we can remember a group of countries in North America. Otherwise there is no reason. Why should I remember these many countries? How could I remember these many countries? And this is basics. It is like without knowing the terminology, it is highly difficult to learn the map pointing. So if directly I will take you or introduce you into map pointing, it will be no different than seeing and copying. This is basics. Okay, now let's move. Soccer national teams. There are people who love the sports, and in this way also you can learn about the countries. Okay, so here the national soccer teams of different countries. Usually when the FIFA World Cup goes on, this kind of words usually appear in the newspapers. So El Tri is the national team of Mexico, generally called as. Whereas the Stars and Stripes, it is USA. Whereas Los Ticos, Costa Rica. Los Canaleros, Panama. Okay. Los Catracos, Honduras. Whereas Leones del Caribe is Cuba. And Los Chapines, Guatemala. So these are some of the famous national soccer teams of North America which have made a mark in FIFA World Cup from North America. Coastal capitals. Now the capitals of some of the North American countries which are located on the coast, sea coast. Now let us see. Basseterre, Bridgetown, Castries. These are capital cities of North American countries. Georgetown, Havana, Kingston, Kingstown, Nassau, Panama City, Port-au-Prince, Port of Spain, Rosso, Santo Domingo, St. George's, St. John's. Okay, these are the countries which are coastal capitals. I mean, they are the capitals towns but located on the coast. So here you see I am doing the classification, how to group different countries in different ways and how to remember them, how to classify them so that it will be easy to remember more or learn more. Okay, next, the hosts. So what is these hosts? Now let us see 1970. Okay, you have to guess what happened in Mexico, the most important event hosted by Mexico in 1970. Yes, it is FIFA World Cup, first time hosted in North America by Mexico, 1970. 1986, yet again you remember Diego Maradona came to the prominence in this very World Cup, 1986. So 1986 also the FIFA World Cup was held in Mexico. 1994 USA. 2026, interestingly, three bigger countries of North America are going to co-host the FIFA World Cup 2026. Now, next is 1904 St. Louis in USA. What happened? For the first time, Summer Olympics were hosted. 1932 Los Angeles. 1968 Mexico City. 1976 Montreal in Canada. 1984 Los Angeles again. 1996 Atlanta. So these are what FIFA World Cup and this side, this side, it is FIFA World Cup hosts. Okay, these are all FIFA World Cup hosts, whereas this side Olympics hosts. But this is also one way of learning. And 2028 again Los Angeles is going to equal the record of London, because London had already conducted the third time, and Los Angeles 1932, 1984, and in 2028 also it is going to host the Summer Olympics. Okay, this is also one way to remember the countries for those who love the sports. Okay, for them. Now next, unique shapes. Now this is the real technique. Now those who were eagerly and anxiously waiting to know, sir, is there any way, the technique to remember? Yes, this is exactly the super technique, unique shapes. Now what is this unique shapes? Now let us take shape of Mexico. Now have a look at Mexico, and whenever we will talk about unique shapes, you have to see the individual map and not as a part of the whole continent. So shape of Mexico resembles like a shark. It looks like a shark. Yes, you need to have that sort of eyes. You see that and you will certainly agree that this looks like a shark. S shape of a country. So which country in North America has a S shape? And that is Panama. Panama country has the S shape. Okay. Now next is the shape of Cuba. Yes, what I said right from beginning, that these countries' unique shapes will be neatly visible only when you will have a glance at the individual single countries' maps. So shape of Cuba is crocodile. It is a crocodile. Yes, you are hearing correctly, it is a crocodile. Now what is the shape of Guatemala? So Guatemala resembles like a chicken, a chick. Okay. So shape of Guatemala, you have to see this and then you will realize, yes, these are different from others, and that is working. So these countries have unique shapes. Okay, right. Next, let us move to the flags. So see, now I'm teaching you the right techniques how map pointing works. This is reliable, this is long lasting, and this is exactly what the UPSC or civil servants aspirants must learn. This is real map pointing. And flags, now let us see how through flags also we can learn or remember the countries. 50 stars on USA flag represents what? That is the 50 states of it. There are 13 stripes on USA which represent the 13 colonies once upon a time the British people used to have in USA. So the 13 stripes represent the 13 colonies, whereas 50 stars represent the 50 states. A maple leaf is depicted on the Canada's flag. Okay, maple leaf. Now this maple leaf is shown on which country's flag? That is unique, because in no other country you could see this, what is described here. That is Canada. A Bible, yes, yes, you are hearing correctly. A Bible is depicted on its flag. What is the country? It is Dominican Republic. Okay, it is Dominican Republic. 5 volcanoes and a rainbow is depicted on its national flag. Remember, we are just talking only about North America, not any other continent's countries. So 5 volcanoes and a rainbow you could see on this national flag, and that is Nicaragua. A trident, yes, what we say a trisul, a trident can be seen on only this flag, and that is Barbados. And next is the nutmeg, the agricultural product. The nutmeg can be seen on this country's flag, that is Grenada. And an eagle with a snake in its beak is shown on this country's national flag. Okay, that is Mexico. Now you have seen how flags also can be a source, can be a way to learn and remember more countries because these are unique. Okay, this is learning countries through flags, learning countries through unique shapes, learning countries through flags. Now learning countries through currencies even. Yes, now let us see. Guatemala, the country's currency name is quetzal. What is a quetzal? It is the national bird of Guatemala, and its currency is named after that national bird, that is quetzal. Is it not interesting? Yes. Haiti, it is god. Yes, you have heard bottle god, snake god, bitter god. Okay, yes, that is what exactly I am talking about. So Haiti is famous, and it has been a part of their culture that they were well known for producing different types of goods, and they were very important for their economy and also for culturally a very important part of their diet. So that's why what a place they have given to that god. So that's the reason Haiti had named its currency as god. Yes, it is correct. Panama is named after an explorer by the same name called as Balboa. Costa Rica, Colon, whereas El Salvador also Colon. Yes, this is the Spanish version for Columbus. So Costa Rica and El Salvador currency is named after Christopher Columbus, and Colon is the Spanish version. That's why Costa Rica, El Salvador currency is named after Columbus. Now the Great Lakes. So Great Lakes, usually Canada and USA, almost at its center, we find a 5 lakes. They are Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Okay, and you can remember like Homes, homes. You can remember homes. Otherwise, if you want to remember serially from west towards east, west to east, then SMHEO, SMEO. If you want to remember any way you like, then HOMES, homes. Okay, this is one way to remember. Next is lakes in Canada. They are the lakes, some are inside USA and the remaining 4 are shared by US and Canada. But now I am talking about the big lakes completely in Canada. Great Bear Lake. So Lake Great Bear, Lake Great Slave, Lake Winnipeg, Lake Athabasca, Lake Reindeer. Okay, so now the question is, don't always consider that all are difficult. You see here a bear, slave, and here reindeer. These are the things which we need to remember. When I give 5, don't try to remember all the 5, then it will become difficult. You see, I may not be able to remember the 5, but you see, interesting is there is a bear, there is a slave, there is a reindeer. So 2 animals here and a slave. Okay, so this is how you need to simplify yourself. Next, the big islands. Now, what are these big islands? Baffin Island. Canada, whenever we see, usually the first time the student feels that Canada means it is just a big piece of land or a big mass of land. But if you see perfectly with magnifying glasses, of course it is for only those who have sight, okay, so now if you see that to find out that is this a single piece of land, then you will come to learn no, there are several islands, okay, several islands which are towards the northern part and eastern part of Canada. And if you see them clearly, then you will find that that is Baffin Island, we have Victoria Island, we have Ellesmere Island, we have Newfoundland Island, Banks Island. So these are Devon Island, these are prominent islands, and Vancouver Island. Okay, these are prominent islands, or what we say the big islands in Canada. So when you will learn that Canada is not a single mass of land, rather it comprises of several big islands, and these are, to name a few, and Prince of Wales Island. Okay, so these are what we said the big islands. So these are basics. So first you need to go through these, then the map pointing begins. If you know that Delhi, then the question is where is Delhi? If you don't know Delhi, the question doesn't arise. So that is exactly important in map pointing. So map pointing, first you need to know. Now after the big islands, it is gulfs and bays, and you might have understood that why in the very beginning I have taken time to define these gulfs and bays. Now let us see Gulf, Honduras Gulf, Nicoya Gulf, Mexico Gulf, Fonseca Gulf, Gulf of California or California Gulf, Panama Gulf, Alaska Gulf, Jamaica Bay. Okay, now here we may not be able to remember all, okay, but the question is, if you see Honduras is a country name also, and Gulf of Honduras, Mexico name of a country and Gulf of Mexico, Panama name of a country and Gulf of Panama. Okay, this is how we need to remember. Next is Jamaica is a bay, so the Bay of Jamaica or Jamaica Bay. Next, San Francisco Bay, we have Bay of Fundy, Bay of Hudson or Hudson Bay, Guantanamo Bay, Campeche Bay, Limon Bay, Bristol Bay, Chesapeake Bay, Delaware Bay, Florida Bay. These are some of the prominent names which we need to know. If you are not finding, try to find it on the map. Then you will learn, okay, this is what. So step by step, I am taking you right. Still a long way to go. Now, next is the questions. Now, this is what exactly important. Now, this is what actually is one of the important part of the techniques. How you will get accustomed to or awareness about that countries, different countries, and different interesting points related to the North America. So this is done in the form of like a quizzing. Do you know? Now please see. So single longest border line means two countries having the longest borderline in the world, and that is USA and Canada. Now Canada has the world's longest coastline, Canada. Canada is the second largest country by area, and it has the longest coastline. Only two countries border with three oceans. Interesting. Only two countries border with three oceans. One is Canada, and that is the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. So both Canada and USA. Now question comes, how about USA? How it is possible for USA? Now for USA, don't forget that they have Alaska towards north. So Alaska has even the Arctic coast. So that is how USA is also correct. Only Central American country, here you see three words we have earlier used. So that names of different sections or the regions also I will describe. That is usually when we talk about North America, we have to talk that in North America, one term, Middle America, second term, Central America, third term, Caribbean islands, fourth term. Like that, different terms are used. Now, what they mean, still it is not complete. So here, just listen to the questions. Now I will clarify that also. Now, only Central American country without a Caribbean coast, El Salvador. Two USA states, okay, they have 50 states altogether, which are completely islands. One is Hawaii and another is Rhode Island. Now, so let us refresh. Single longest borderline, US and Canada. Canada has the world's longest coastline. Only two countries border with three oceans, Canada and USA. Only Central American country without a Caribbean coast, El Salvador. Two USA states which are completely islands, Hawaii and Rhode Island. Now let us move to another section. Do you know? Sea within the sea. Yes, you are hearing correctly. Sea within the sea. Sargasso, the color, surrounded all sides by the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. The colors are different. So that's why Sargasso is the only sea without a coast, or Sargasso is a sea within the sea. Okay. Whereas sugar bowl of the world, Cuba, these are geographical epithets or sobriquets, what we say. That is yet another way of learning or remembering the country. So, sugar bowl of the world, Cuba, jewel of the Caribbean, Jamaica, land of eternal spring, Guatemala, the superpower, USA. Of course, earlier Russia too, but after 1990s, the breaking down of or the fragmentation of Russia into pieces, USA is perhaps the sole superpower. Now, Devil's Triangle, it is Bermuda Triangle, is called as Devil's Triangle. Now, let us see, sea within the sea, Sargasso, sugar bowl of the world, Cuba, jewel of the Caribbean, Jamaica, land of eternal spring, Guatemala, superpower, USA, Devil's Triangle, Bermuda Triangle. Yes. Now, let's move. Do you know? Now, another set of points. These are basics. This is exactly what a learner wants to learn, because this is the foundation. Without having the knowledge or the idea, it is highly difficult or it will be meaningless to learn about map pointing without having this basic foundation. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So that's why don't think that I am diverting or deviating from the point. Still there is, I am focusing still on the map pointing, and I will certainly introduce you, but these are basics. Please bear with me and watch until the last. Country where one can see the sunrise on Pacific Ocean and sunset on the Atlantic Ocean. It is Panama. Largest lake wholly in Canada. Earlier we said Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. But I have not said that all these are whether completely in USA or completely in Canada. But if you go by the Canada, it is the Great Bear Lake, which is completely in Canada, and automatically it will be the largest. Okay. And the largest lake wholly in USA, that is Michigan. And interestingly, Spain is not the country with maximum Spanish speaking people. It is interesting that most populated Spanish speaking countries in North America, that is Mexico. Yes, you are hearing correctly, it is Mexico. So country where one can see sunrise on Pacific Ocean and sunset on Atlantic Ocean, it is Panama. Largest lake wholly in Canada is Great Bear Lake. Largest lake wholly in USA, Lake Michigan. Most populated Spanish speaking country, that is Mexico. Yes. Now let's move. Do you know? Now here I am going to define what I said exact earlier, that what are these set of countries called as. Okay, please remember, and you can also make a note of it, because these are the things which are generally not described in any map pointing classes. Okay, and this is the real treasure. This is exactly what a child wants to learn, and without this knowledge the map pointing is incomplete and it is meaningless. Now please see Hispaniola. Now, what is Hispaniola? Now, you see Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico in the map. So, Haiti plus Dominican Republic, both are almost located on the same island, together called as Hispaniola. Now, what is Antilles? Antilles is West Indies. Here it is minus Bahamas. So you have to take out Bahamas. So Bahamas is not a part of West Indies. Okay. Are you hearing? Yes. Make sure that Antilles is not West Indies plus Bahamas. West Indies minus Bahamas. Now again they are further divided. Antilles is further divided into Greater Antilles and Lesser Antilles. Now what is this Greater Antilles? Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola. So you remember, I think Hispaniola means Haiti and Dominican Republic plus Puerto Rico together constitute Greater Antilles. Okay. Whereas the another part is Lesser Antilles. What is this Lesser Antilles? Lesser Antilles comprises of leeward and windward. So if the wind is coming like this, imagine that wind is coming like this. So if there is a mountain, okay, so this side of the mountain is called as the windward, and just the river side, this is called as the leeward. Okay, this is windward, means towards the wind or facing the wind, and just the opposite side is called as the leeward. Okay, so here Lesser Antilles comprises of leeward islands and windward islands. Now windward countries or windward Antilles constitutes of Dominica. Okay, don't get confused with Dominican Republic, that is separate. Dominica is separate, Grenada is separate, and Canada is separate. So windward countries comprise of Dominica, Saint Vincent, Grenada, and Saint Lucia. These countries together constitute the windward Antilles. Now what is leeward Antilles? Antigua, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Virgin Islands, and other small islands together constitute leeward Antilles. Okay. Now Hispaniola, Haiti plus Dominican Republic, Antilles, West Indies minus Bahamas, Greater Antilles, Cuba, Jamaica plus Hispaniola plus Puerto Rico, Lesser Antilles, leeward and windward and islands. Okay, windward islands Dominica, Saint Vincent, Grenada, Saint Lucia, and etc. Leeward and mainly Antigua, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Virgin Islands, etc. So these are important parts. Now let us move to another section. Do you know? So here some we have discussed and some we have not discussed. Now here let us see the Central America. So Central America, all clear now? This is also we are going to discuss. Middle America, this is another important region. Latin America, also we will discuss. Caribbean islands. So what is this Latin America? Latin America means those countries, North America and South America, those countries from both North America and South America which were once under either the Portuguese rule or the Spanish rule. They were referred as what we say the Latin American countries. Okay, Latin American countries. Whereas Caribbean islands, this part again we have just now we discussed Caribbean islands, Greater Antilles, Lesser Antilles, West Indies. This is also I am going to discuss the next. So now let us move to some other important points. Now you see, this is Greenland. So Greenland is geographically North America but politically part of Europe, and that is mainly which country? It is certainly the Denmark. Arctic Circle, you see, generally we see equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, the most important latitudes. So Arctic Circle, if you see, passes through only two countries, and that is through Canada and USA, Arctic Circle. Okay. Whereas Tropic of Cancer also passes, and one is through Mexico and another is through Bahamas. Arctic Circle through Canada and USA. Tropic of Cancer passes through Mexico and Bahamas. This is also another way to remember more countries. Only capital city that has a rainforest. Yes. What is rainforest? Almost up to late afternoon it will be hot sunshine, and then suddenly there will be a downpour of heavy rainfall. This type of areas will have dense forest regions, but usually capital city will be an exception. But only capital city that has a rainforest within the limits of the Panama city, the capital, within the city limits only there is a rainforest. So that's why it is a unique type of capital. Panama hats, generally we call Panama hats, but they don't come from Panama. Okay, it is a misconception. They don't come from Panama, rather they come from Ecuador. Ecuador from South America. Lighthouse of Pacific Ocean, Izalco volcano. Consistently it used to blast. So due to that continuous burning, it acted like a lighthouse for the Pacific Ocean, ships moving on the Pacific Ocean. So that's why it is fondly called as the lighthouse of Pacific Ocean. Banana Republic, right. This is yet another sobriquet, but it is not used now. But once upon a time, Honduras, which was well known for exporting much bananas to the world, that's why fondly it was called or referred as Banana Republic. So this is about how we have learned another group of countries. So everywhere you need to learn that how or where there is a possibility to learn or remember the countries that we need to learn. So this is basic. Right. Now, do you know America is named after not Columbus. It is named after Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer. America from Amerigo. The same way, if I will say one, if the teacher says one, the student has to try, is there any other almost same style named after? Yes, there is Belize. It is named after the Belize river, River Belize. A country and its capital, both are named after lakes. This type of thinking is important. And when a child will start thinking like this, you will find the reason to remember the countries, the capitals, the places, the regions. The country and its capital both are named after lakes, and this is applicable only to one country, that is Nicaragua. That is Lake Nicaragua. Its capital Managua, it is named after Lake Managua. So Managua is located on the side of Lake Managua, and Nicaragua, the country, there is a lake called as Lake Nicaragua. And it is interesting to learn that as Panama Canal we have, on the same lines Nicaragua also almost 20 years back it had a proposal to start what we will be called as, if completed, will be called as Nicaragua Canal. Okay, this is also going to connect both Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. So Nicaragua is on the list. Maybe very soon, or maybe in the near future, we will find, if not this generation, maybe next generation, certainly will see in the light that Nicaragua Canal seeing the light. Okay. Next we have Guatemala, Mexico, Panama, also. What is this? Now here these countries are also interesting. You see, what is the capital of USA? If your answer is I don't know. What is the capital of Canada? If your answer is I don't know. But what is the capital of Guatemala? A child will say, sir, Guatemala City. What is the capital of Mexico? Mexico City. What is the capital of Panama? Panama City. What is the capital of El Salvador? San Salvador. Salvador. Now you see, is it interesting? Now these may be very minute or microscopic things, but these small things you have to see with magnifying glasses, because these are the only ways to learn or remember or to make map pointing an interesting subject. Okay, otherwise map pointing is never going to be an interesting subject. So how you see I am classifying countries, unique shapes, countries named after countries where their capital city also having the same name like their country or rhyming like their country. So these are interesting figures. Okay, now next, what is next in the store? Now you see USA baseball. Yes, USA's national game is baseball. Okay, if of course they are well known for even basketball, athletics, boxing, lawn tennis, so many games, but USA's national game is baseball. And here many children have the doubt, sir, Canada ice hockey, yes, correct, but what is lacrosse you have written? You see, Canada, whenever a child comes across ice hockey and lacrosse, he gets confused. Please remember, ice hockey could be played only in the winter season where ice formation is plentifully available. What about the hot season or when the ice melts? So at that time the national game becomes lacrosse. Yes, this is the correct reason. That's why books often write sometimes Canada national game ice hockey, sometimes Canada national game is lacrosse. But a child gets confused because their reasons are not given, reasons are not mentioned. But that's why I'm clarifying here that Canada ice hockey, they are well known for ice hockey, but it is winter season. But in the summer season they play another sport, that is lacrosse. But ice hockey, only the world knows Canada for one game, and that is complete monopoly over ice hockey by Canada. Next we have Mexico, that is national game is charreria. Whereas Cuba, again baseball, Dominican Republic, the baseball, Haiti, the soccer, and West Indies, clear? And as you know, West Indies, they have cricket as their national game. Okay. Now, what is this? This is now, I'm taking you to the map. So here you can see, as earlier we have mentioned, this is for Canada, this is USA, this is Mexico. Okay. Whereas this is Alaska, which is a part of USA. This is Greenland, as we discussed. Politically it is different, geographically part of North America, but politically it is a part of Greenland. Sorry, politically it is a part of Denmark. Okay, right. Now here the water bodies, if we see, so this here we have the Arctic Ocean. This part is Arctic Ocean. Whereas this side we have the Pacific Ocean. This is Pacific Ocean. Pacific. Okay, right. Whereas this side means we have to say geographical, mean this is north side we have Arctic Ocean, south South we have the South America, the country. East side we have Atlantic Ocean, east, okay, and west we have Pacific Ocean. So north Arctic, south the South America, the continent, east we have Atlantic Ocean, west we have Pacific Ocean. Besides these, we find some other important seas also. So just here in this region we have Beaufort Sea, we have Beaufort Sea, okay. Next we have between the Greenland and Canada here Labrador Sea, okay. And then just towards the right of, means towards the east or above the Cuba region, so towards the east side of Florida, we have what I said, Sargasso Sea within the sea, or sea surrounded by sea, or sea without a sea coast. Next we have the here we have other important seas like this particular Central America. When we will discuss, then we will learn that the Caribbean Sea also we are going to discuss, Caribbean Sea, okay. So these are some of the prominent water bodies around the North America. So in North America there are so many important islands also. In Canada, here this part is Baffin Island, this island is Baffin Island, okay. So whereas we have the Ellesmere Island, this part is Ellesmere Island. We have the Newfoundland Island, okay. Like that you need to learn, that is what are the prominent islands located in these regions, okay, right. Now next, these are the lakes, okay. So what are these lakes? These are called as the Great Lakes. This is Lake Superior, okay. This is Lake Michigan, SM, here H, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. This is Erie, Lake Erie, and finally this one is a Lake Ontario, okay. So lake we have Superior, largest freshwater lake, then we have Michigan, then Huron, then Erie, and Ontario, okay, right. Now the Great Lakes, if you see Lake Michigan and Huron, they are connected by Strait Mackinac. Strait Mackinac connects the Lake Michigan and Lake Huron. Whereas River Niagara and Niagara waterfalls combinedly connect Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, okay. River St. Lawrence connects Lake Ontario and Atlantic Ocean, but passing through what? Gulf of St. Lawrence. That means from Lake Ontario via Gulf of St. Lawrence, the ship finally enters into Atlantic Ocean. Lake Michigan, what we said, which is little bit USA side, so that is completely in USA, okay. And as you have heard, in Brahmaputra we have the Majuli, the largest river island or freshwater island in India. Like that, the largest freshwater island is Manitoulin Island, that is in Canada. That is the largest freshwater lake island, okay. Largest freshwater lake island we have to write. Next, so which lake it is located? It is located in Lake Huron. It is located in Lake Huron, okay, right. Now Central America. As I said that we are going to discuss what is Central America. Now let us see. Central America comprises of Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. These are the countries. Okay. Now the countries which I said. So we have here the Guatemala. We have here Belize. Okay. We have here Honduras. This is what I said is going to have the next canal, that is Nicaragua. That is also lake by Nicaragua. Right. Next we have the Costa Rica. This is Costa Rica. Costa Rica means rich coast. Costa Rica means rich coast. And interestingly, there is a coast here. Okay. Okay, now. So, next is here the Panama. This is Panama coast. Okay. This is Panama, the country. So, we have Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. At the same time, we have here El Salvador. This is also one important part. So all together these countries together constitute what we say Central America. Now you might be thinking, sir, what about that Middle America? So Middle America means here we have, you could see the tail part of Mexico. If Mexico is included, then it becomes Middle America. If this is Mexico, if you include this with Central America, it becomes Middle America. If you exclude this Mexico, then this is Central America. Okay, right. Now comes Great Antilles. What are that countries? Okay, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. Okay, so these are, you can see some of the prominent countries. So here we have, this is what I said, the crocodile shape, Cuba. Okay, Cuba. And we have here, this is Haiti. Okay, and this part is Dominican Republic. This together called as what I said, Hispaniola. And next here we have the Puerto Rico. And here we have the Jamaica. Okay, right. Now, whereas these are the other island groups. Now, Lesser Antilles, Antigua, Barbuda, Saint Kitts, Saint Nevis, Barbados, Saint Lucia, Grenada, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, Saint Vincent and Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so that countries formed what we say Lesser Antilles. Now the question is, sir, what is West Indies? You see, West Indies you cannot find in Atlas. West Indies only for the sake of cricket. Cricketing body is common for these Caribbean countries, but there is no country called as West Indies. Okay, so West Indies is only formed to play combinedly cricket. Now, what countries together called as West Indies? Now let us learn. So West Indies is not a country, single country. It is a group of countries, or better to say, they have one cricket body. The term West Indies is used to denote a group of island countries located between North America and South America. These are Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago. So these countries together make what we say West Indies. So when the West Indies, the cricket playing nation as we know them, So they come from these group of island countries. Okay, but they have to play under one banner, and that is West Indies. Only for cricket they represent as a single body. Now do you know? Now you see, this is another, still that is not over. If man has to be curious, and if you are curious, you can learn more. If the moment you stop asking questions, the moment you stop learning, now your knowledge becomes stagnant. Now here you see, I have not stopped. Different ways I am using how the child could remember more. And this is what I have adopted and I have practiced. And from my experience, I have learned. And that's why I'm sharing with you. It gives me immense pleasure. Belize, its capital is Belmopan. But Belmopan is located on the bank of river. Again, Belize. Are you seeing something? Okay. So this kind of things make you to remember the things. Because at least the question comes, okay, Belmopan, it is located on a river which is the name of the country itself. It shares its name with the country. So river Belize shares its name with the country, or the country shares the name with the river Belize. And Belmopan, the capital, is located on river Belize. And once upon a time, even Belize capital also was Belize city. Like Guatemala, Guatemala city, Mexico, Mexico city. Belize also had its capital as Belize city, but that was later on shifted to Belmopan due to cyclones. Okay, right. And Canada has a capital Ottawa, and Ottawa is located on by the same name, river Ottawa. Interesting. Okay, right. Next, Dominica. Dominica, its capital is Rosso, and Rosso is located on the bank of river Rosso. Whereas Nicaragua, its capital is Managua, but it is located on the banks of Lake Managua. See here, Belmopan sharing the river name with its country. Canada's capital Ottawa sharing same name, capital city, located on the same river. Rosso, same river. Managua, same lake. So similarities. Okay, right. Now the peninsulas. Now the question is, as we go step by step, want to learn more, then you need to work also hard and practice more. Okay, now the peninsulas. Seward Peninsula, Alaska Peninsula, California Peninsula, Yucatan Peninsula, Ungava Peninsula, Boothia Peninsula. So these are prominent peninsulas located in North America. This is another level I am taking you. Next, you have to learn about the straits and sounds. So what are the prominent straits? Lancaster Sound, Cumberland Sound, Pamlico. Lancaster and Cumberland towards Canada, whereas Pamlico Sound and Puget Sound both are located towards USA. Now comes the straits. Bering Strait, Davis Strait. So Bering Strait divides North America from the rest of Asia, whereas Davis Strait separates North America from Greenland. Next we have Hudson Strait, Florida Strait, Cabot Strait. Okay, so these are important sounds. So these are all important sounds names. Sounds. So what I said, sounds are bit larger than straits. That is the difference. Whereas Bering Straits, a narrow passage of water joining two bodies. Whereas when I said it is a channel, means the water must be flowing clear freely, then it is a channel. Right, now the trenches, the deepest parts. Isthmus, the strip of land connecting two big land bodies. So Puerto Rico Trench, so deep, one of the deepest trenches. Guatemala Trench, important trenches. Isthmus of Panama, you have heard, but there is another isthmus in the South America, Isthmus of Tehuantepec. Okay, so Tehuantepec also an isthmus. So these are important trenches and isthmuses. Now I am going to clarify one important question. So some children might be thinking, so there are some countries which you have not mentioned as a part of the North America. take for example Bermuda, one example I am giving, Puerto Rico. Okay, now these countries whether included or not included is an important question. If not included, even though they are so close, why not they are included? So now this is an interesting question which needs clarification. If Bermuda is so close to Florida, why not it is a part? Is a question mark. Now I am giving you the answer. What we call this type of countries. So now this is also one way to remember, that is besides your main country, a country may also have dependencies which are not self-ruled, or a country may have overseas territory, means miles away they may have their territories far away from their mainland, so they are overseas territories. Or there are some smaller countries or islands which are occupied by these countries, they are not having their own government, so such countries are called as dependencies. So now let us see for USA, American Samoa is one dependency, Guam is one dependency, Puerto Rico is an overseas territory, US Virgin Islands is one overseas territory. Now you understood why Puerto Rico. So except means whatever the rights enjoyed by the American citizens all are applicable to Puerto Rico, except that is right to vote is not given to the citizens of Puerto Rico. That is the difference. Understood? So that's the reason. Now whether Puerto Rico is a part of North America or not, now you can understand. This is the reason why Puerto Rico is not considered as a part of North America. Now any other such example? Yes, Bermuda. So here what I said, these are the dependencies or overseas territories by Britain or England. What we say, Bermuda is an overseas territory of England. British Virgin Islands, so US Virgin Islands, like that British Virgin Islands, like that Montserrat, when we discussed about Antilles, Montserrat, this is also an overseas territory of Britain. Next is, you can see in the atlas, you try to see that Aruba and Curacao, these are also islands, but they are not a part of North America. Why not? Because they are under the Netherlands. They are under the Netherlands. Aruba and Curacao Islands, they are under the Netherlands. Okay, this is the reason why map pointing becomes complicated. If you don't understand these basics, if you don't understand this kind of points, that will make the map pointing more disgusting, and that is the reason why we lose interest. So when a question crops in the mind, it must be answered. You should get the answer, then only we will get more interested and we will get more curious, we will get more clear, we will try to learn, we will be eager to learn. Otherwise there will be no clarity. So this is what the dependencies or territories. Now I am promising you that very soon we will have another video that is on South America, but here I just assure you that any sort of doubts, any sort of queries, any sort of comments you have, you are welcome, and I am assuring you that I will certainly clarify your doubts. You thoroughly watch this. This is only about the political side of North America, the basic information I have given. So any sort of doubts always are welcome, and thank you very much for watching this video, and wait for my next video very soon on South America. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, share and comment, and that will encourage me to produce still better ones, completely unique, completely different from other videos, which will be very helpful for all the competitive aspirants. Okay, so stay at home and stay safe. Namaskar.